into my world, and it changed everything. Now I'm not alone, and I can see a brand new path appearing before my eyes, but I can't reach it alone. I need someone to show me the sky, and a voice on the wind tells me that maybe you could lead the way. I'm running a million stars, oh, wish out there is ours. Maybe this time it'll come true. Whatever comes our way, we'll face it unafraid, and take this world on together. Good morning. You'll have to earn the next ones. Are you ready to get started? Both. We're gonna practice magic augmentation. Now that you've improved in the fundamentals of both sword fighting and casting, we're gonna try to use your magic to enhance your swordsmanship. It's definitely a strong factor in what makes a Mage-Knight so formidable. Now unsheath your sword and channel your energy. The magic can help lighten the weight of your sword and make your swings faster and more concise. Yes, you've got it! Okay, now when you swing your sword, use the air around you to push the sword in the direction you want it to go. Were you trying to do that? What you did was actually an advanced technique which requires a lot of energy and concentration. I can't believe you were able to do that without trying. Since you've been able to pick this up so quickly, are you ready to put it into practice? Good!
just happened? That doesn't explain how you overpowered my cast. No, I mean that level of energy output should be impossible. The type of crystal we have for you shouldn't be able to even handle that much energy without shattering. Maybe the next city will have a shop that can help us take a look at it. If not, we can always buy you a new one. That's enough training for today. We better get some food in you.
Now that we have arrived at Coastal Coral, it would be in our best interest to survey the area and search for additional information which can lead to the Water Temple.
It's so beautiful.
Perhaps we should inquire with the locals here as to the whereabouts of the temple.
Well, I suppose we should do that.
Or we could take a break from all that traveling and take some time to recharge and then scout for information.
Boing boing!
Pongo's got good taste.
We've arrived here for a purpose, and that purpose should be fulfilled.
That's true, but wouldn't we have more success after we've had a chance to rest and can search with fresh eyes?
I've been feeling a bit pale after spending so much time in the cold north. It'd be so nice to just relax and bask in the sun for a while.
The beach sounds like a great idea. Of course.
There's no reward for going to the beach.
Not everything I do has to have a reward.
Obviously, his motivation for going to the beach is to spend more time with me.
I take it back. Let's do Amy's thing.
Hey!
The journey here has been long. I suppose a brief repose could be a good idea.
Then it's settled.
Good point.
I noticed a few clothing shops we passed on our way here. Perhaps we may find something suitable within.
Why don't we take a look at the shops, and then we all can meet down at the beach?
Nuh-uh. No boys allowed. It'll be way more fun if it's a surprise. Trust me.
It's not like it really matters.
Boy! Boy.
Nice ones, I would guess. Yeah, but don't forget, she actually kept the wolf's den armor. You'd know better than I would. I mean, if there's anyone she'd enjoy showing more skin to, it's certainly not me. It's Kara.
Hey guys! Were you waiting long?
I mean, yes, we were waiting forever.
Sorry to keep you waiting. It took a while for me to find the perfect suit. So, what do you think?
It's fine.
I'm glad you like it. Greetings. I am selecting the prime location for me to begin my construction of the most structurally sound sand fortress. Boy! Of course, you may be of assistance.
Why don't we go check out the water? Oh, you are so going to regret that!
Fooled you! I got you all riled up for nothing. Still you. I think I'm ready to dry out a bit in the sun.
I'm feeling kinda hungry. Are you hungry? Let's go get some food.
Meh. What? trying to relax. I was. She was right next to me.
I am starving.
Kara, be careful! If you take it all at once, you could choke.
Oh, don't worry. I have great control over my gag reflexes. But you're right. I'm just so hungry that I got a little eager. Is this better?
You have weird eating habits.
Oh, do you know what we forgot to do? Put on sunscreen!
You're right! It's not about tanning. It's about protecting your skin.
Exactly!
I told you, it's the most attractive pose.
Leanna, do you think you could help me with my back? I'll return the favor.
Of course!
You'll be able to reach more this way. Oh, that feels so nice.
Oops!
That's okay. I don't want any tan lines anyway.
I'm fine.
All right, Leanna, your turn.
Maybe later, when we don't have so much of an audience. It doesn't.
Nice catch.
Where did you get this?
Doesn't matter.
Kara?
I bought it, silly. It was with us the entire time. But I suppose you were a bit too distracted to notice. Beach ball!
A classic beach game.
We'll split into teams. Me and Zach, and you and Leanna. We'll each stay on our own sides of the court and try to hit the ball over to the other side without letting it drop to the ground.
And it'll just be an added bonus when we win.
Oh yeah? Should we make a wager?
You better get into position or this first serve will be an automatic point for me.
Ugh! I have no idea. You're right. Yep, I'm ready to win.
Are you ladies here to talk or play? Could have fooled me.
Neither do I.
It is because they play upon each other's strengths. Kara's dexterity and swift reflexes allows her free range to set up the ball for Zack's powerful strikes.
That's pretty smart of them. We mostly just split the court in half and figured if the ball fell into whoever's half, that's who would try to hit it.
We make a great team, don't we?
You're pretty good at this.
Oh, was that a compliment I just heard?
Don't make a big deal out of it.
Well, you're pretty good at this too.
Sure. Do you hear that? Help! Somebody help! Everything is going to be okay. I just need you to keep holding on, okay?
I can't.
Don't let go. Just keep holding on. Damn it! I need my manipulator. Make sure he holds on. I'll be right back.
I can't. My hands are... Ah!
That was magic, wasn't it? The boy slowed down and then stopped in midair. You saw it, didn't you? But who could have cast it? Must have been a mage out here, watching. Yeah.
Now that the boy is safe, we should get moving.
Indeed, it will only cause more questions the longer we stay.
What happened back there?
You cast it. Somehow, you have discovered a method in which you can cast without your manipulator. Yes, however, absorbing energy directly is impossible too. For you to use that internal energy to cast is a new occurrence for all of us.
We don't know how to channel magic without a manipulator, So we could only teach you to cast in the only way we know how.
Do you believe you could replicate such a casting?
Maybe here isn't the best place to be discussing this.
Yeah, let's get to the inn first.
So, the beach... You casted without a manipulator. How did you do it?
Perhaps you can recall certain stimuli which may have affected you differently. Was there a technique you used which is different than what you normally do?
Did the energy feel any different? What? I'm not a caster.
There must have been an effect which triggered the change in the cast. Something which allowed you to connect with your inner reservoir of energy. If you could just recall what it is, you could replicate the cast.
Maybe we should table this discussion for later.
It is imperative that we discover how to recreate the cast.
I agree, but we may be more successful if he tries to cast again. And the inn isn't the ideal place to practice.
You are correct. We shall attempt to recast again when we are more isolated.
Maybe we should figure out our next steps for finding the water temple.
You're right. We had our break at the beach, but we did come here for a reason.
This city is the closest to the islands among the coast. If I recall correctly, the exact location of the water temple has been lost to even Elderism. My assumption would be that it is located on one of those islands, similar to how the wind temple was located on the floating isles.
An intelligent assumption, but one that will keep you from the true location, I fear. That which has been hidden from memory is safely stored beneath nature's rocky peaks.
And who are you?
Just a simple bard.
A bard?
I warned the lonely soul not to seek comfort from the sea, for her will cannot be tamed, and when she pulls him into a watery bosom for his death, she cannot be blamed.
And yet still he sought her bravely, wading ever deep. And far beneath her seafoam lace, his secrets she will keep.
That was beautiful. I thank you.
I love the poetry of Giggleane. It's great to meet someone who also knows of his work. When did you come across his poem?
Just after I finished writing it, I suppose.
You're Giggleane? I can't believe I'm talking to the Giggleane! Your poems and stories are what got me through my toughest years at the Academy. Would it be okay if... I mean, it's just such an honor. Can I shake your hand?
I am honored to meet someone who has such a deep appreciation for my work.
You don't know him? The famous bard! He's traveled throughout Asaria, recording the stories of adventurers. His poems are known throughout Havengard. He's a legend.
You give me too much credit.
You're just being humble.
You're too kind. Perhaps I could give you a live performance if there's time.
A live performance would be the best thing ever.
Oh, actually, I think I have heard of this guy. You wrote about the thief and the purple marble, right?
One of my earlier works. I am pleased people are still familiar with it. It is a fun little tale.
That doesn't explain why you're here, or why you were listening in on us.
Oh, I'm sorry if I overstepped, but it's been a long time since I'd heard anyone talk about the temples. I couldn't help but be interested, and it sounds like you could use some help, too. I can guide you to the entrance of the water temple. It's located below the mountain valley. As a bard, I do come across all manner of stories and information. If you're open to the suggestion, I'd be happy to show you where it is.
Why would you want to join us?
I'll admit my motives are a bit selfish. If your adventure is seeking out the temple, I'd like to share in your adventure.
You want to record a story about us?
I promise I won't be dead weight. I know the journey through the temples is treacherous, but I have heard a lot about them through my own travels.
Stories are stories. How do we know if your information is accurate?
Yeah, that one about the thief seemed pretty fantastical.
Because he's Gingalan. He doesn't need to make up stories. He bases them all on real events.
Perhaps there is merit in what the bard says. If even Elder Ism had difficulty locating it, then it must be well hidden. We do know that the Aquarians use the nearby mountains as defenses against neighboring tribes. It is not unlikely that the temple could have been built within the mountain. Difficult terrain deters unwanted visitors.
Then it's settled. Gingalan can lead us to the temple.
It would be valuable to have the aid of a knowledgeable bard such as he. I spent many a late night reading through his tales of past heroes. They are quite fascinating.
They deserve all the recognition they've received.
It is getting a bit late. Maybe we should turn in for the night. We can head to the water temple tomorrow with the help of our new guide.
I'm very excited to see this next adventure unfold. I will meet you here in the morning.
So, Gingalan, can you tell us some more stories?
Oh, I don't know.
Please? We'd love to hear one.
Perhaps one which is not as widely known.
Well, if that's what you wish, how can I refuse? I loved a shadow caster. I loved how her giggles shimmered with silver. I loved her moonlit hair, her star-flecked fingers. Together we wished, we teased, we played. She covered me in twilight, in soft murmurs and rain. I'll show you, my sweetling, she whispered, she soothed. My friends and their shadow magic are just misunderstood. But little by little, her mind turned to dark flowers and violent meteor showers. Shadows poured from her mouth. She spat, she swore, she roared, splattering me with ink, with oil and ore. The night was too strong, too much underneath her skin. It flared from her fingers, her shoulders, her rings. She tore apart our friendship, our home, our dreams. Surely, her friends, dishonest and cruel, surely she had me fooled. I joined them and discovered too late the mistake I had made. They had been wrong, not her. She was trying to save them, to keep their magic pure. But the shadows, they whispered, they crawled and lingered. She fell into my arms, light as mist. Her power wreathed about her neck, her chest, her wrists. As she sobbed, she whimpered, "Please, take me with you. We'll cuddle in our garden of auroras. We'll build a house of starlight, of everything lovely and bright." But there was nothing I could do. She faded into twilight, into smoke and wind. I'm left with nothing but the memory of her left on my skin. Thank you for listening to my tale.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
But it was also so sad.
Thank you. Oh, that looks fun.
It's okay. I got you.
When I first met you, I felt like I could sense some magic within you, too. Admittedly, I'm curious to know more about you. Perhaps I could dedicate a whole verse about you and your adventures. Where is it you hail from? Yes, but where in Asaria? Try me. I am fairly well traveled. New York. What is New York like? How odd. I haven't heard of it. Did you leave to study at the Mage Academy? Oh, are you training to be a Mage-Knight as well? I see. And how long have you been training with her? Well, Well, you must have a very high aptitude for magic indeed. Well, it takes a very skilled mage to be able to train into a Mage-Knight.
Hey, what are you guys up to?
Thanks for humoring this, old bard.
Yes, good evening. I wish to be with you in private. Yes, there is a matter I wish to discuss with you. Please, come this way. I have been pondering the possibility for you casting without the use of a manipulator. I believe it may be because you've absorbed magic from the elementals directly. That reservoir of magic has been within you since the Fire Temple, and it merely has been a matter of unlocking your potential to cast from within to utilize the energy. The harrowing situation on the beach proved it to be possible for you to channel from within. After having ample time to think, I believe it will be simple for you to pull that energy again. If this is the case, then perhaps you are able to cast more than one element. Thus far, you have only manipulated wind energy. That would lead me to the conclusion that despite the energy you absorbed, you were only using wind energy. If my theory is correct, I believe you may have untapped magic gathered inside of you, those of the other elements. It is only a matter of bringing that magic to the surface. Have you attempted to use another element before? I see. Then allow me to show you how to use fire magic. Now, it is your turn. It is quite simple. Imagine the fire surging throughout your body. Imagine it flowing up your arm into your palm. If done correctly, a small flame should appear. This is a simple cast. Do not give up so easily. Yes, but this is not wind magic. Perhaps we need a different approach. You mentioned that absorbing each individual elemental energy gave you a different sensation. Perhaps we should focus on the emotional response you felt. Try snapping your fingers. Good. Now, let's try this. Of course, you have only succeeded in creating a basic fire spell. As such, there's still more work to be done. If my hypothesis is correct, you should be able to combine your wind magic along with your fire magic. Correct. It is the same as any other cast. Focus on channeling your energy through your hand again. If it is easier, perhaps it would be best to summon the wind magic first and add the fire afterwards. Yes. That is also correct. Your ability for learning is already expedited when you consider the length of time it took you to learn how to cast at all. Understanding those timelines, it does not seem unlikely that you would be able to quickly acclimate to double element casting. Good. Now add the fire magic. The same way you would normally cast fire. Stop. Just as I expected. Are you unwell? I see. Such a feat should have taken you significantly longer to learn. It might be easier for you to channel your energy because you have been absorbing magic directly from the elementals. Your progress seems to be accelerated because you are using energy stored directly from within you, instead of a secondary source, such as a manipulator. That is enough practice for tonight. Perhaps it would behoove you to get some rest. Although, if merely casting 2 simple spells in conjunction exhausts you to this degree, I do fear how including more elements will affect you. For you to successfully open a rift, you will have to engage all of the elements you have absorbed. To cast multiple elements at once may prove fatal if you experience such exhaustion from using just 2 elements in such a basic cast. Of course, this is merely speculation based on my observations. Perhaps you will be able to gain the strength to cast all of the elements simultaneously. The more you use magic, the more accustomed you become to it. Just like muscles can be strengthened with stamina, your mind can be exercised in such a manner for casting. It is no mistake that as you lack the years of training many other casters undertake, you tire much faster than others. At this time, it is difficult for me to estimate that. As I mentioned before, this is purely speculation. Given you are exhausted, it would benefit you to get some rest. Good night.
Can't sleep. I heard a noise which woke me up. Something on your mind? Of course, how can I expect you to be honest with me when I haven't been fully honest with you? The truth is, I had an ulterior motive for joining your group. While I do still believe you'd all make for a fantastic story, I joined to get to know you specifically. I saw you at the beach. I saw you cast without using a manipulator and save that boy. Please don't take that the wrong way. What you did was absolutely amazing, and I just wanted to learn more about you, to understand how you did that. I apologize if I came off too strong earlier. No, I understand what it's like to be different from the norm, and how it can be both something special and a burden. I don't blame you for hiding who you truly are. Sometimes that's the safest thing you can do for yourself and others. So, will you tell me where you're actually from now? I'm just joking with you. If you ever do want to talk, maybe I can lend a little bit of insight. You don't get to my age without learning a thing or two. I would ask this friend what he means by home. Do you think those people would want him to make a life or death decision just to return to them? Or would they feel better knowing he chose the path that would guarantee him a life he could live as he wished? Life is a journey. There is no defined destination. And because of that, there are no right or wrong ways to travel along this journey. Perhaps one day, his journey will be safe. Or he may not want to go back. Perhaps another day, the choice will be made for him. Or he can choose between both. Just remember that you have people who care about you, and will support you in whatever you decide. Hypothetical friend, yes. Well, I think it's about time I tried to get back to sleep.
Hey, where did Zack and Kara go?
They were not here when I awakened.
Good morning, friends!
Hey. We went hunting for breakfast. Oh. I ate it already.
You sure did do some eating.
What did you eat?
Zack, you appear to be injured.
What?
You have a slight abrasion on your neck.
Don't worry about it. The hunt just got a little rough.
Oh, Kara!
What?
You know what?
I really don't have the faintest idea.
Never mind. Maybe the rest of us should just eat too. I mean, eat a meal!
As opposed to?
As opposed to nothing! That's why I said a meal!
I can tell this is going to be fun. Yes, this is it. Yes, sir. These steps will lead us to an underwater tunnel, which will take us to the temple. What is it?
Afraid of getting wet?
Perhaps my water magic could be of assistance.
We are fortunate to have a mage-caster with us who can manipulate water. With a mere twist of the wrist, she bends the sea to her will, and to the wave which dare defies her, her ice will freeze it still.
That was beautiful.
Oh, do you think so? Perhaps I should write it down.
You should. Maybe it can go into your new poem. Yep, lead the way.
Do the stairs continue to descend?
I'll admit I'm uncertain.
It is of no matter. We shall soon discover the answer. Please, continue.
What do you know? There are more stairs.
crystals. Fascinating. These water crystals are mineable ore. One can use them to create spheres. This place has been lost to knowledge. Crystals near temples are a rarity. I will use this one to study for further research.
The temple should be down here.
Is that you?
Are you all right?
It was hard traveling through this maze for me too. I followed your voices and found you all here. No.
I really don't like the look of this place. The mirrors are so creepy.
What about Zack and Gingalane?
Sounds like a plan.
Dead end. This is going to take forever.
Wait!
That's it? Just us? What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Do you think there are more words hidden out here?
Probably.
Among... us and among? What does that mean?
There are probably some more words out there we need to find to make sense of this. Can you make any sense out of this, Amy? You're usually really good with puzzles.
I don't know. They just seem like random words to me.
Right, but do you think it means anything?
No idea.
Us among illusion?
Among Illusion Us.
So something among us isn't real?
Yeah, but what? Maybe, but who would it be?
What makes you think that? Huh? I see. Good.
No kidding.
Oh, it's you guys.
Amy, you're okay.
I assume the illusion among your group must have been me.
Well, in any case, I'm so glad you guys are safe.
Yes, we are relieved you're all safe too. It's good to be reunited.
Zach, you're acting weird. You're not another illusion, are you?
Nope. I am very much me, in the most normal and loyal sense of the word.
Loyal? What did you do?
Nothing. I told you I was loyal.
I had not realized it before, Zack, but you seem to be quite the ladies' man. I will be sure to immortalize all that has happened in this most daring tale of...
No! I mean, that's really not necessary.
Leanna, Jingling, Zack, and I had to solve a message. Correct. It was very obvious that the illusion was her.
No reason.
To put it quite bluntly, Leanna attempted to seduce Zack.
What?
And you fell for her, hey there, sailor, tactics?
It wasn't like that at all. She was actually good.
Precisely. Her technique was especially effective. That is how we deduced she could not possibly be the real Leanna at all.
Hey!
Why would you do that? I thought we were friends.
No, it wasn't me. It was illusion me. I would never hit on Zack.
And why not? Is he not good enough for you?
Huh? I mean, he must be okay if the illusion me hit on him.
I knew it!
I don't understand what's happening. You two? I was literally with you guys the whole time.
Hey, don't worry. She'd never be able to do what she did back there in real life.
Excuse me?
And what exactly did she do back there?
I didn't mean anything.
Do you all hear that? I think so. If we're nearing water, then perhaps we're close to the temple.
Did you just have an encounter with the elemental? How did it go? Uh-huh. And why exactly are you on the ground?
How very curious. My scan reports an unusually high concentration of energy on your lips.
You kissed her? Your lips didn't touch together to transfer the energy then? They did? I can't believe you. That was different. It wasn't even me.
What's this about kissing an elemental?
Yes, let us be on our way.
Void.
It would seem the mining efforts of the water crystals here are to supplement the transmutation efforts of Void.
We have to stop them. Keep your magic ready. The rest of the team will focus on the scouts and miners. But we'll want to take out those mages as soon as possible. Everyone okay? How did Void know where the temple is?
I wondered the same thing. We got pretty lucky in finding this place.
They must be growing exponentially in power and amassing more resources than anticipated.
What do we do with those mined crystals?
We should take them. They can still be fashioned into crystal spheres, since they haven't been tainted.
I'll help. It sounds like Void reinforcements.
Those scouts must have alerted the rest of the troops before we took them out.
Stand back! Are any of you hurt?
That was shadow magic you were using.
Yes, it was.
You were using tainted shadow magic against Void, and that fighting style.
Yes.
It can't be! You're really him?
It would seem Gingalain is not Gingalain the Bard, but he is also Robin Ostergaard.
For all intents and purposes, Robin is dead.
Why did you disguise yourself as a bard?
I thought it would be best. With all of the disturbances Void caused, there was a massive stigma against shadow magic. I didn't want people to misconstrue the events of what happened or who I really am. I may have been a part of Void in the past, but it was before they turned into the Void that created and used tainted spheres. When their ideals began to shift, I got out. I was lucky, but not everyone was.
So you gave up the prestige associated with the heroes.
Times were hard, and people were confused and on edge. It was simpler for Robin to become what they wanted him to be. I became the Bard to keep the memory of the heroes alive, so they could continue to provide hope for the people. But we need to focus. Void is continuing to taint crystals, and it seems like they're only growing stronger.
We've been noticing more of a presence of Void, too.
Since the tainted crystals are the source of their rising power, you'll have to find a way to stop production of those spheres.
It would make the most sense that production would happen at the base of their operations.
Where is that?
The Shadow Temple. They can use the latent energy there to maximize output of tainting crystals. If you're able to reach the temple and absorb the energy within, you'll put a major dent in their operation. I saw what happened at the temple just now, and I felt the change in energy levels. I don't know how you're able to do that, but I've seen my share of crazy things in life, and I know that what you have is a gift. Don't be afraid of it because it strays from the norm. Use it for good.
If what he says is true, then it would behoove us to journey to the Shadow Temple.
Do you know where it is, Amy?
I would need to consult Elderism's notes.
The Shadow Temple is in the west, right on the border of Avengard.
That's the opposite side of where we are now.
I will mark it down on the map for you all. I'll take care of them. You all should get going.
You aren't coming with us?
I know you are all more than capable of handling whatever you may encounter. I have other business to attend to now.
It's been an honor traveling with you.
I am the one who is honored to be able to know such a formidable Mage-Knight.
It has been a most enlightening experience to have made your acquaintance. I only wish we had more time to further speak about your background. I have many questions.
I'm sure our paths will cross again someday.
Take care.
I'll look forward to reading about the dashing beauty who helped save the team from danger.
I wouldn't dream of leaving her out of the story. Until we meet again.
It seems Void's presence is even greater than we thought.
Agreed. This is more than just a few scattered fanatics. They're reorganized.
Perhaps we should alert the authorities.
You think they're just gonna take our word for it and believe that Void is back? They'll launch an investigation which would take months, maybe years. And by the time they realize it's true, Void will be even stronger.
Zach's right.
That's right. Let's get going.
Indeed, it would be beneficial for us to depart this place.